Saturday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Saturday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Saturday. Saturday, bring it on. Excuse me! Taxi!
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
And the number to reach us live this hour, 800-848-9222. Dominic Carter here with you. Boy, do we have a lot to get to, but it's important that I say something up front, particularly today. If you want political correctness, I'm telling you now that you have the wrong show. Today is a horrible day for law enforcement across the country. You want to know why police officers don't go the extra step? Why we have these animals in terms of the criminals doing the things that they're doing? It's in part because of how we treat our police officers. And if you were an officer, you wouldn't go the extra step either. An ex-NYPD sergeant, New York City folks, hauled away in handcuffs after he learned his fate for that fatal New York City cooler throwing incident. And his union has said that it's one of the darkest days in the profession, and I agree with that entirely. So you had a sergeant in the Bronx that threw a cooler at a young man on a scooter riding, and he happened to be a drug suspect, and he fell and hit his head and died. And so after being found guilty, the judge sentencing him up to 3 to 9 years behind bars. And again, this is one of the darkest days in terms of law enforcement. And so the young man had just been apparently caught selling $20 worth of cocaine to an undercover officer. So all of this happening, right? In terms of the sergeant, while in Charlotte, the man that stabbed that Ukrainian refugee on that Charlotte light rail train, he's been found, he stabbed her in the neck and she died right there. He's been found mentally incompetent to stand trial. A psychiatric evaluation deemed him incapable of proceeding. Surprise, surprise, surprise. The feds still have their mental process to go through with this individual in Charlotte, but on a state level, mentally incompetent, which means there's a good chance the same thing will happen on the federal level. This is all wrong. It's all screwed up. But here's what's right. A poll out showing a majority of voters in New York City believe New York City is on the wrong track under Mamdani. No, really? Let's start with the Charlotte situation, and I'll backtrack to the injustice for the NYPD and law enforcement all across this country on this day. This is from Channel 2 in Charlotte.
New at 4 o'clock, the man accused of killing Irina Zarutska is deemed mentally incompetent to stand trial. Police charged DeCarlos Brown with killing the Ukrainian refugee in August on the Charlotte light rail. Brown faces both state and federal charges, facing the possibility of the death penalty. With competency now in question, no trial date has been set just yet.
And so he's mentally incompetent, right, to stand trial. And yet an NYPD sergeant led away in handcuffs. And what's happening to this sergeant, again, if you want political correctness, you got the wrong show today. Because what's happening to this NYPD sergeant, can you say Derek Chauvin all over again? Being railroaded, That's what happened today when the judge handed down his sentence. The young man's mother in the courtroom, as I just said in news headlines, where was mommy when he was selling drugs? And you see, nobody wants to be honest. He was selling drugs. Do you think that that's going to go on to be a productive citizen in society? I don't think so. It's still not a reason for someone to lose their life. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that it's right for someone to lose their life. But this guy was a drug dealer. And right now, we've got an NYPD sergeant, former officer, in jail processing as we speak. As we speak. Going to your telephone calls in just 1 second. Dominic Carter here with you. But let's turn to Fox News again. The situation of the young lady in Charlotte, right? So that guy is mentally incompetent. The system works for these criminals. It works for these savages, but it doesn't work for law enforcement. And then we don't understand why crime is out of control. So the sergeant, what if this guy on the motor scooter had hit one of the other officers, as he testified to on the stand that he was concerned that it would hit another officer? Rule 101 in these trials, officers don't testify. This sergeant testified. That says to me that he believed that he did nothing wrong. And as far as I'm concerned, and remember, folks, I'm not some Johnny come lately to these types of cases. I'm the type of guy for 40 years that the other side, the community, turned to in alleged police brutality cases. The mothers of these alleged victims. I'm the guy that they turn to. And I'm telling you now that this thing stinks. A drug dealer, now, granted, you shouldn't lose your life, but he chose to try and escape on that motor scooter. Again, but I see all your calls. We're about to begin with them. Fox News on the young lady in Charlotte that lost her life on that train, stabbed in her neck. I already told you, if you want political correctness, I'm not the one today. Black suspect, she's white. You think that's going to help race relations? It seems to be a common occurrence these days. And so we have him mentally incompetent, running game, and we have a situation where they tried to put up a mural in Providence, Rhode Island of this young lady, and the Democrat mayor said, no, no, no. This from Fox News.
Fox News alert, you won't believe this. The Democrat mayor of Providence, Rhode Island has a bizarre, infuriating request. He is demanding that this mural that you're looking at, a beautiful image of 23-year-old Irina Zarutska, be wiped away. I'm sure you remember her story. She was the young Ukrainian refugee who boarded the light rail train in Charlotte, North Carolina in August of last year after working at a pizzeria. She sat down in front of DeCarlos Brown, a career criminal with charges dating back to 2007. 4 minutes later, Brown pulled out a pocket knife, stabbed Irina 3 times, brutally killing this innocent young woman. Now, over in Providence, Rhode Island, a bar commissioned a mural, a beautiful picture honoring Irina. But less than 8 months after her tragic and avoidable death, that mural went up, and the city's Democratic mayor, Brett Smiley, said it does not represent the city's values. Quote, there is nothing we should be doing to take away from this tragedy, but it was distorted by an erroneous tweet by the president and funded by right-wing billionaires. So honoring a victim of violent crime doesn't align with the city's values, apparently. But this mural celebrating the LGBTQ community does.
You know what doesn't align with the values of voters? The position taken by the Democrat mayor in Providence, Rhode Island, that made sure that that mural was removed. You know what doesn't align with the values of Americans? The mayor in Charlotte, North Carolina, she was the one that tried to bury this case to begin with. And it was almost buried of what happened to that woman in Charlotte. Let's now switch to Mom Donnie. A majority of voters say New York City is on the wrong track under Mamdani. Really? No. Wrong track under Mamdani? as he hits his first 100 days in office. A poll from Emerson College, PIX TV, found that 59% of New Yorkers overall believe the city is on the wrong track. Only 41% believe it's headed in the right direction. And that 41%, those are the free that have been fooled and they're still waiting for something. And guess what? The numbers have been fueled by discontent among Hispanic, Black, and Asian voters.